Welcome to Panama City, a vibrant place bursting with culture, history, modernity, and so much pride. When most of us plan our trips, the focus usually falls on the sights to see and the activities to do, and the food often takes a backseat. So, I wanted to make this video to hopefully inspire you to think about the local food scene here, and maybe even get you a little bit excited to try out a few of these spots. Now, this list might not do the city justice. In fact, I know that it won't, but my hope is that it'll give you a great starting point. So join me as we bop around eating our way through Panama City. What's up, guys? Welcome back to a new video. If this is your first time stopping by, hello, my name is Sade. Guys, I'm so excited. Today is our first full day. Yesterday we landed in Panama City, Panama, and the day looks gorgeous to start. So, you know, being that this country is so diverse, despite only having just under 4.5 million population, I was thinking I wanted to kind of do like a food video because I think anytime I travel, I always try and pin places, restaurants, recommendations that people provide on the vlogs, places to eat. And so that's one thing we always struggle with, like, where should we have breakfast, where should we have lunch, dinner, etc. So I think I'm gonna use this opportunity to hopefully provide you guys with some good recommendations during the next 8 days that we're gonna be spending here in Panama City. And hopefully during your visit, you can add some of those places to your list and check them out as well. So let's get this vlog started. Welcome to Panama City. So we're staying in a community called Marbella, or Marbella, which means beautiful ocean or bay, because we are very near to the water, completely surrounded, I think. And it's very interesting, this neighborhood, lots of really beautiful high-rise condos, but then in between you'll see like these smaller homes where I guess people are like, nah, we're not picking up and moving. But then you'll also see like little hole-in-the-wall mom and pop restaurants in between. For example, the one that we just passed now, it looks like it's closed, but hoping to try some of that later since it's so close to our Airbnb where we're staying. But for right now, we're gonna go catch some breakfast and hopefully get a taste of what Panama has to offer for a morning meal. On our first morning in Panama City, we wandered just a few blocks from our Airbnb in the Marbella neighborhood to a place called Michael's Restaurant, this super cute brunch spot. I'm a sucker for places where the vibe matches the food, and Michael's definitely nails it. The whole place had a breakfast and the jungle theme, clearly designed with travelers and Instagram in mind. Even though it was buzzing with people, we only had to wait about 5 minutes for a table. Not bad at all. Cheers! First coffee of the day. Hopefully you guys can hear me. I definitely feel like I found this spot on Instagram because it is very Instagram. From the interiors, the bathroom has like these pink neon lights. There are these floral decorations and clouds on the ceiling. Really nice. But more importantly, I'm looking around at everyone's plates, and the food seems to be well portioned, big sizes. The coffee is very nice. Prices are reasonable. And the place is packed, but the wait wasn't too long, so I'm hoping that the meal is going to be good. Now, sitting inside of Michael's, it's even more obvious that this place was made for Instagram. Between the pink neon wall quotes and the fun jungle and floral decor, and even these adorable breakfast themed crochet wall art pieces, Michael's definitely knows how to set a brunch vibe. Which of course had me wondering, with all this energy put into decor, would the food and the service actually live up to the hype? Well, I'm happy to report it absolutely did. The food was just as incredible as the ambiance. I especially loved the variety of breakfast options, from beautiful charcuterie style boards to full-on food towers, which are perfect if you're dining with 2 or more people. And if you know me, you know I'm a sucker for a good charcuterie board. But when you swap the meats and cheeses for pancakes, eggs, avocado, and fresh fruit, total game changer. Seriously, a board full of breakfast items, I mean, what more could a girl ask for? Oh, and I couldn't resist ordering a side of strawberry banana French toast. absolutely delicious. I wasn't sure if my family and I could actually finish everything we ordered, but you better believe we were giving it our best shot. And to top it all off, we shared a picture of passion fruit mimosas, the perfect way to help it go down a little bit easier. For a simple brunch spot, Michael's delivered on a full-on culinary experience, and even though it's not your traditional Panamanian breakfast, it's a brunch I highly recommend checking out when you visit Panama City. What a great way to start the day. Really good breakfast. So not typical Panamanian food whatsoever, definitely an Instagrammable spot. They had Panamanian breakfast items on the menu, but I think it's geared more towards Westerners, expats, you know, your traditional American breakfast with French toast and pancakes, but nonetheless really good and reasonably priced. I think for the three of us, our entire meal was just under $90, which is really good considering that we got a pitcher of mimosas, which probably gave us about 9 glasses total. We also ordered like a breakfast board that was beautifully presented. Like they really thought through the look and presentation of the food, which I think makes it very Instagrammable friendly. And then I ordered the French toast. So all of that together, 86 bucks around there. I think very reasonably and well priced. So great way to start the day. I'm stuffed. We're gonna do a little bit of walking around, build up some more appetite, and then I will catch you guys, if not lunch, early dinner time. My first impression so far of Panama is that the weather is amazing. I imagine it gets a little bit more humid than it is today, so you know, keep that in mind when you're coming here, especially because the city is so pedestrian friendly. Like they have these pedestrian footbridges to get over the major highways. There's tons of sidewalks, and so you'll probably be outdoors walking quite a bit, and I definitely encourage you to. Our Uber driver also mentioned that on Sundays, this major road that kind of hugs the coast closes down anywhere between like 6 and noon, which is great because it leaves the highways open to cyclists and people who want to use their electric bikes, etc., to just be able to traverse the city without any vehicular traffic or concerns about getting hit by a car. So I definitely anticipate that we're going to work up quite a bit of an appetite before we check out our next meal. After that incredible brunch at Michael's, we knew we had 2 options. Either slip into a full-on food coma or burn off some of these calories. So we decided to hit the streets and started to walk around the city. And honestly, who wouldn't feel inspired with this refreshing breeze and these absolutely stunning views of Panama City skyline along the Cinta Costera Causeway? Panama City is seriously blowing me away. Its skyline could easily rival my hometown of Miami, Florida, but what's even better than Miami, Panama City feels way more commuter friendly, at least here in the city center anyway. Little pit stop on our way home. We stopped at a local market. You can obviously tell this is a little higher end, fancy, but small. Definitely the prices are a little bit more expensive than I'm sure local people shop and pay in the city, but because we are in the business district, you know, we're paying likely a little bit of a premium for some of the prices. But for the most part, well, first distinction from like the stores back in the US, they do sell alcohol, harder liquors, all in one place, which I know there are some states in the US that do, but it appears here in Panama you can just pick up your rum and your food all in the same one-stop shop, which is my preferred method. I wish I didn't have to do that extra stop. But then also they have pastries and then basically everything that you need. Not bad. Holy smokes. Almost $9 for this Chick-fil-A sauce. It's probably like $4 or $5 back home. Definitely a premium for imported goods. This cookie is my absolute favorite. If you've ever flown Delta, they give you these on the flight, and this cookie butter, oh my god, amazing. Also $8. Very pricey here. Gosh, it looks so good. Holy smokes. $2.18 for a can of black Goya beans. This back home is 99 cents. So obviously the import tax and fees on this is basically almost 100% what we pay back home. That's nuts. After browsing the local market, we headed back to our Airbnb, watched a beautiful sunset from our window, and called it a night. Time to rest and recharge before another full day of eating our way through Panama City. Good morning, travelers. We're back at it on another gorgeous day here in Panama City. The family and I got an early start today. We booked a private tour, and our driver took us to see some of Panama's most iconic sites, including the famous Panama Canal. Now that it's getting close to lunchtime, you know what that means. It's time to eat. Our driver took us for a scenic cruise along the Amador Causeway, where you get some incredible views of the Panama City skyline in one direction and the bay entrance to the canal in the other. And believe it or not, we even caught a glimpse of a sloth just hanging out in the trees. The Amador is lined with dozens of restaurants overlooking the water, so we decided to stop at Mi Ranchito restaurant. Now, I'm sure Mi Ranchito leans a little touristy, but honestly, can you blame them? Just look at these views of the Pacific Ocean. Absolutely breathtaking. Mi Ranchito is a covered indoor-outdoor restaurant with a full menu of local staples such as fresh seafood, Panamanian beer, and plenty of traditional dishes. I ordered the whole fried fish served with a side of crispy fried plantains, or patacones as they call them here. And when I tell you this fish was fried to perfection, golden, crispy on the outside, tender and flaky in the inside, I mean it. Even though it's a bit tourist driven, the prices were surprisingly reasonable. My entire meal, fresh seafood, a cold beer to wash it down, cost me just around $15 US. Yep, you heard me right, $15. Now compare that to paying $10 for a dozen of eggs in the US. Anyway, service was wonderful, but even better was the company. Our tour guide joined us for lunch, and honestly, the conversation was the best part. These are the moments I treasure most about traveling. Sitting around a table, sharing a delicious Panamanian meal, listening to stories, and learning about the country's history straight from people who call it home. Our guide, interestingly, is of Jamaican descent. His family came to Panama generations ago to work on the canal, like many others from the Antilles diaspora. It reminds me so much of one of my favorite storytellers, Anthony Bourdain, may he rest in peace, who believed you could learn about the world by what's on your plate. And sitting here today, I really feel that. Travel becomes something so much deeper, where you can experience another culture through its food, its people, and its history. It's these connections that make the world feel both bigger and smaller all at once. Anyway, and because I'm known to have a sweet tooth, of course, I had to finish off my meal with a piece of flan, a traditional Spanish dessert. I mean, we are in Latin America after all. Hair is looking a little bit crazy, but the lighting is amazing. Anyways, just got back to our Airbnb. We did a private tour today. If you guys are interested in checking out that vlog, click on this link just up here. But throughout the tour, our driver was giving us like some historical context of the city, why things exist, how they come to be, and then he took us to a fabulous restaurant on the causeway. Guys, those views are amazing. Just the contrast between the Pacific Ocean and the backdrop of the city, it just was taking my breath away. So I couldn't ask for like a better ambiance over some fresh fried sea bass and some patacones, which, you know, in Cuba we call them tostones, but they're literally those fried flat plantains that are just chef's kiss, so delicious. So now that we're back at our Airbnb, we're just gonna relax for the evening. I don't even know if we're gonna get any dinner. So if I don't catch you guys later this evening, definitely catch you in the morning. See you then. We may or may not have had a few bottles of wine while we were having a little bit of downtime after lunch. But being that the sun is starting to set soon, we need to go to the wine shop to replenish. Very fancy wine shop, as we are in the business district, and you know, obviously this is probably a more upper scale neighborhood. Lots of expats. So comparably and relative to prices back home, it'll probably be the same, if not a little bit more expensive, but that's okay because we're on vacation. And then I think we're decided to go out for dinner tonight. So I'm excited to, I'm hoping, get a little bit of a consensus with the group that we can go get some Afro-Panamanian food, which I've been really wanting to try this trip because the culture is so important here to the melting pot that is Panama and Panama City. So we're gonna get the wine first and then figure out where we're gonna get to dinner. Go to dinner. Clearly I've been drinking a little bit. By the way, I should also note, if you guys have an evening where you don't feel like going anywhere for dinner and you just kind of want to hang out in your accommodations, there is a app that you can download called PedidosYa, and I'll place it here on the screen. I think it just means order now, right? It just means order now in Spanish. PedidosYa, order now in Spanish. And it's basically like an Uber Eats version where you can just order from all of the local restaurants in the vicinity. It was relatively affordable, not anything different from what you would expect back home, but definitely an option if you decide that you don't want to go out to eat and you just want something conveniently delivered to your doorstep.
Vaya folclórico, oye, disculpa la tardanza y los dolores de cabeza, ¿sabes? Agradezco tu paciencia y esta gran oportunidad. Dile, ya tú ves, ¿cómo? Siempre en la brega, ahí nada más.
Nancy's trying out the bar in the grocery store back there, which is really nice. So this is a really fancy wine grocery store. Expensive as hell, more so than what I would typically spend back in the US because you have the import tax on top, especially of the products that are foreign, which, you know, understandably, but a very nice selection. Beautiful wine room. You can get everything you need for like a charcuterie, meats, cheeses, and like little simple things, bread and things of that nature. I would say it's comparable to like babe, what's the name of that store? Is it like a wine warehouse? Anyways, I can't think of it right now, but I'll put it somewhere on the screen. But I would say it's comparable to that, but mini market size. It's a smaller establishment. But what I can appreciate is that here in Panama, it seems that they sell your harder liquors and spirits and your wines and your beers all together. So it's a one-stop shop essentially, which is really nice. Last but not least, we grabbed a few loaves of bread and a nice spread as a snack to munch on and to help us soak up some of this liquor we've been drinking, which should hold us over for a few hours before we head out to dinner.
Constantemente se presentan, si en ocasiones no hay salida para un delay.
Oh my god, there's food going around and it looks amazing. So we're at a restaurant called El Trapiche. This restaurant came highly recommended by our Uber driver, the guy who drove us from the airport to our Airbnb, because I was asking him to give us some recommendations of Afro-Panamanian restaurants that we can indulge in, obviously because it's such a big part of the culture here. And so this restaurant he highly recommended. It was a little bit of a trek. It wasn't really that far, but because it's so humid here in Panama, you know, walking a block feels like you walked 10 miles, but we've made it. And upon entering the restaurant, you can definitely smell all the flavors and it smells amazing. So I'm hoping that the food matches our expectations. So we're gonna order and try some Afro-Panamanian food. Cheers. Salud. 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 Anytime we travel to a new country, we definitely try some of the local beers. There are two that have come highly recommended. This one is the Panama Lager. I believe it comes in a light, right? It comes in a light. But we were just doing the regular lager. It's really, really good. I'm not much of a beer drinker, but I do like the lager taste. So if you're used to that, I think you would enjoy that. And then also Balboa is the other national beer that they have in here in Panama. This one isn't bad either. It's
it's not as sloggy than the
yeah, like this one has a little bit of an aftertaste that I'm just not super fond of, but it's still a really good beer, especially chilled. They give you like iced, like chilled glasses. So we've been enjoying this pretty much the whole time. And usually the local beer is the cheaper option. So if you're into that and you want to try some of the local beverages, I highly recommend that you try either one of these two. So the family ordered a plate of different little fried frituras, as we would say in Spanish, with, this looks like plantains, mashed plantains, we call patacones, and here in Panama we call them tostones. This is a criolla sauce, which is like a tomato-based sauce. We've got some fried wings in there. Is this yuca? Yeah. Oh no, and empanadas too. Yuca, which is another root. Almost starchy. It tastes almost like a potato type of consistency. And then I ordered the shrimp al criolla, which is also that tomato-based sauce with shrimp, some white rice, looks like some vegetables and some plantains. Ready to dig in.
People were like doing event shows and shit, I guess, on the inauguration.
Like the restaurant?
Yeah, it was good.
It's good, right? Definitely well worth it if you guys are looking for a local spot, Afro-Panamanian cuisines. But to be honest, I would just say Panamanian. Like, a lot of what we had is very typical of any other Panamanian restaurant that you can have, but the ambiance was nice, the food was delicious, and I think for the three of us, the full platter, my meal, beers, I think we spent like around $80. So relative to the US, not too bad, not too far off, similar. So we're gonna make our way back to our hotel this evening, walk off a little bit of this food that we ate, and then there are a few places that I do want to try in the city that have come highly recommended, one being the seafood market or the fish market. I hope to go there maybe in a day or two, so if anything I'll check back with you guys then. Otherwise, if something comes up that I feel like you should add to kind of like your palate tasting list, I'll pop back in here and let you guys know. Until then, I'll catch you then. I've been drinking a little bit, but all right, let's check you guys in a little bit. Where you at, babe? Dale, Nancy, dale, dale. All right, having a little bit too much fun at a local bar. What is the name of this place? I'm gonna put it somewhere here on the screen.
Absolutely.
But it's definitely a vibe.
Finca del Mar.
Finca del Mar. I'll put it here. And I think they have like a happy hour, 2-for-1 mojitos. The ambiance is very nice. It's very quiet. Like I just feel like Panama overall is just a very, very chill country. It's not giving, even though it looks like Miami, it's not giving Miami craziness vibes. But which is perfect because we just want relaxation and just to be able to enjoy. Obviously I've had a couple of drinks already, so I'm feeling a little nice. But we're right on the Sombrero street, which is where you have all of these hats beautifully dangling on the small little corridor avenue. Very Instagrammable. And then on the other side of the restaurant is the ocean. So really nice ambiance. How much was the bill, guys? $27? $37. And what we got, like 3 rounds of mojitos, 2-for-1?
They charge us for mojitos.
Not bad. Not bad at all. Less than 40 bucks for 2-for-1 mojitos.
We had 6, 7, 8.
8 mojitos for 37 bucks. Pretty good. So now we're probably just gonna saunter around a little bit more of the old town, Casco Viejo, and figure out how the night ends, whether or not we go to dinner or just keep it chill tonight, but we'll see. So far, really enjoying ourselves. What's up, guys? So we were staying the last few days in an Airbnb a couple of blocks away from the hotel that we've checked into today. So I really haven't vlogged much today. I've been basically just enjoying myself, getting myself settled into this really beautiful hotel, which is called the W. It's a Bonvoy, a Marriott, a part of that chain. I definitely am going to do a full tour and review of this hotel if you are coming to Panama and interested in trying to decide where you'd like to spend your time here. So if you're interested in that video, be sure to subscribe because it'll probably come out sometime after this, this video. But anyways, we have decided that we are going to have dinner at the hotel today. I think it's an Argentinian steakhouse kind of restaurant. So I definitely want to bring you guys along. Again, it's a part of the amenities if you guys are staying here and you also want to partake. So let's go do that. So being that we checked into the W Panama Hotel, we decided to treat ourselves and try out the hotel's signature restaurant, Moro. Moro is a buffet-style Argentinian steakhouse that offers a true 5-star experience to match the W's vibe. As soon as you step inside, the lighting and ambiance immediately sets the mood for an elevated dining experience. When it comes to on-site dining, Moro really delivered. They pride themselves on using locally sourced ingredients, blending Spanish flavors with a global twist. The dinner buffet costs $40 US per person, and honestly, I thought it was worth every penny. There was something for everyone. Tender, juicy grilled meats, rich and savory seafood options for pescatarians like me, and for dessert, the most incredible churros that practically melted in your mouth. And if I haven't said it enough, yes, I have a serious sweet tooth. Comment below, are you more of a sweet or savory? Either way, at Moro, you'll leave happy and full. The atmosphere, eclectic yet elevated, bold decor, cozy lighting, and even a live DJ spinning chill beats, giving the whole place this upscale, loungy energy. It was definitely the kind of dining experience that felt effortlessly laid back and luxe, a perfect reflection of the W brand.
You know that I played on that?
Right? I'm gonna take this one. Oh my god. That is so delicious. It's like chewy, but not too sweet. What is this? Condensed milk? Amazing. Wow. These views. The hotel. Pool back there. I think we ate way too much at the buffet, but it was amazing. I think for the 3 of us, our tab came out to around $120. So roughly $40 per person, which I find very reasonable because especially when you're dining at the hotels, they tend to charge you a little bit more of a premium. But given that the food was really delicious, the desserts were good, the drinks were good, very satisfied with the cost. Now we just came out to the pool deck area where there's a nice, warm yet refreshing breeze and the skyline.
Put you on a little something called a little pro tip. You ever come out here, churros with leche condensada.
That's so good.
That's condensed milk.
It's delicious.
All right, you tell them when you come out here, you ask for that. And when you ask who put you on, you tell them Soda put you on that pro tip.
Okay, thanks, Soda. The next morning, we decided to try out the breakfast buffet at the restaurant as well. Now, there wasn't anything particularly outstanding. It was your pretty standard Western-style breakfast with pancakes, eggs, the usual offerings. That said, everything was fresh and the service was great, just as the night before. One aesthetic touch I did appreciate was the real honeycomb set up for guests to scoop fresh honey for their tea or fruit parfait. Very cute. It's clear, though, that dinner service is really where this restaurant shines. Nonetheless, we very much enjoyed our breakfast, and thanks to our American Express Platinum travel card, it was complimentary. Otherwise, breakfast would have ran us around $30 per person, which honestly isn't too bad for a hotel buffet. Oh, and I almost forgot. Booking our stay through our card also gave us a $100 hotel credit that we used towards our dinner last night. If you haven't already, definitely check out my full review of the W Panama Hotel. I break down a few of the perks you can unlock with your travel card or by being a Bonvoy Hotels Reward member. Later in the day, we made our way back to Casco Viejo, the charming old town of Panama City, to a restaurant I actually sourced from Pinterest called Casa Casco. From the moment we took the glass-encased elevator up to the rooftop, I just knew this restaurant was going to feel elevated and elegant. I love how so many of the restaurants in the tourist areas here give off serious Instagram vibes and offer these incredible views. But as we sat there soaking in the beauty, I couldn't help but reflect a little. The contrast between the old, weathered buildings and these fancy cafes is striking. It made me wonder how the longtime residents feel about their neighborhood, now a UNESCO World Heritage Site, becoming somewhat of a tourist spectacle. The cost of progress, if not handled right, often means communities get pushed out. And I really hope that that is not the case here, although my fears is that it might be. Because how special would it be to continue calling such a magical place home if you've lived here for generations? Nonetheless, we fully indulged, adding to the problem, admittedly, but not just in the stunning views, but in the spread of delicious dishes from fresh shrimp scampi, crispy pork rinds, patacones, of course, and the most incredible salmon balls I've ever had. Honestly, every meal we've had since arriving in Panama from sunup to sundown has been nothing short of amazing. And good evening, guys. It's nighttime. To be completely honest, we've been enjoying ourselves so much. I think these last 24 to 48 hours, I've barely vlogged because we leave tomorrow and I've just been wanting to enjoy my time. One thing I did not know before we arrived was this weekend kicks off Carnival, which is their carnival festival. It happens over a span of 4 days, if I'm not mistaken. And today's Friday, they start today, like a little introduction festival ceremony concert. So we're gonna make our way down to that end. I saw kind of a stage setup, so there should be some music, entertainment, some vendors, hopefully some street food vendors. Maybe we'll try out some things, some patacones like we've been eating every day, taking advantage because that's what you do here. We eat plantain. So I'm looking forward to it. I don't hear any music right now. It seems like very light, but I think by the time we get to that end of La Cinta, which is this main strip, you know, that's on the ocean, I think we'll get a better sense of what it's going to be like. It's not as busy as I thought it was going to be.
You look like local food, right?
Plot twist. So, I mean, we had no idea that Carnival was happening this weekend, so we made an attempt to go down there and check it out. But because the streets are blocked off, traffic is crazy. So we managed to get an Uber further down, and then we tried, but then we decided last minute, you know what, we're not gonna do that. So we asked the driver to recommend some restaurants for us, and she brought us to a different neighborhood. To be honest, I have no idea where we are. She recommended this neighborhood behind me called El Caribe, which is a Jamaican restaurant. Actually, there's quite a robust Jamaican, you know, diaspora here. Yeah, I mean, I know they've come here to work on the canal and such, so but just people on vacation. Lots of Jamaicans here just enjoying themselves on vacation. Really nice to see. So anyways, because this row is just filled with, I'll put it on the screen, the area that we're in. Because this row is filled with different restaurants, we're gonna try and find one that's typical Panamanian food, local things that we can try in our last night here. I'm really sad about, but we've been really craving some local foods because where we're located, our hotel is very touristic. So we kind of had to get out of that area to find some of the typical foods that people who live here and are from here would eat. So let's see what we find. My husband seems to think, no.
I got camera shy.
My husband.
Let me try again.
Oh my God.
So here we are at El Trapiche. Apparently there are several locations.
Again.
Here we go, round 2. Oh my God, it looks so red. Got a lot of sun today. So this is our second time eating at El Trapiche, just at a different location. But everyone keeps recommending this place. So in terms of like finding typical Panamanian food. But everything looks really good. So I'm gonna zip it and get to eat. We came, we saw, we conquered. Oh my gosh. I think I'm good on eating food for like a good 24 to 48 hours. But we've enjoyed Panama very, very much. We've really enjoyed our stay here in Panama and eating our way through this incredibly diverse and eclectic country. I feel like now that we're at the airport, we're gonna catch our flight home. I'm gonna definitely need to detox for the next 7 days, you know, considering all the food that we ate while here and lots of Panamanian beer. But anyways, I want to thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope that you've enjoyed it. I hope that you at least got a sense of what the gastronomy is here and hopefully some tips or inspiration of things that you might want to come and visit or try when you come visit the country on your next trip. If you did and found this video somewhat useful or inspirational, feel free to give your girl a thumbs up. It really helps me out with the YouTube algorithm. And if you learned something new and want to join along in this journey, feel free to subscribe and join the travel family. Anyway, we're going to make our way to the lounge and we'll figure out which way the lounge is anyway. But again, thank you guys so much for watching. Wishing you guys lots of peace and love. And I'll catch you guys in the next video.